Dude, what the? Is this cork? This is cork foam. What in the world? I'm so curious how this is gonna sound. Millitrix is releasing the Zoom75 TIGA, which is in a way the V2 to the original Zoom75. I was sent the purple, which complements my original Zoom75. They're both perps. Gotta keep the tradition going, you know? Now the price can swing a bit wildly depending on what you pick, but I would probably expect something around $195 to about $220 depending on what you get, and then of course a little bit more for additional add-ons. You never quite know what you're gonna get with these review boards, so it's always a bit of a mystery. Looks like the first thing I got were some plates, FR4 and palm to be exact. Also got some more foam, which is great. The main box has a cool toolbox style design, which I like a lot. I also think it helped me feel like I was being more organized, which is always a good thing. The top shelf was packed with stuff like tools, cables, and some cool modular parts, including a badge, which you can swap out for the LED screen. Additionally, there's the PCB and 2 more plates. Usually I don't get sent this many plates, so I'm actually pretty stoked, and I appreciate that a lot. Now these other 2 plates are an aluminum and a PC plate. Really stoked about the aluminum plate, since they're getting more and more rare, it feels like, but it's probably just because I'm always getting sent review boards, and those always have plastic plates. Anyway, stoked about the aluminum plate. The second shelf has the board, which looks absolutely amazing. I think it's a huge upgrade over the original Zoom75.
Dude, that looks so good.
The triple tone colorway is the way to go. The back is way cooler with these sort of 3-dimensional pieces sticking out. It's just a fun departure from the standard flat weight aesthetic. I was sent 2 keycap sets and 2 different switch packs. The purple one and this purple one. Then also this purple set of switches and this also orange purple set. Now as usual for the build, I started with the stabs. The stabs included are quite interesting. They're called stupid stabs. And instead of screwing them in, they lock in using this little, I guess that's like a little tab, and it just ensures that the stabilizers don't fall out, especially when you're popping off keycaps. Now I originally used these stabilizers when I got the Zoom75 V3, and they were pretty good, but this time they were really tight. Even after I lubed them, it didn't really change that. But I ended up just moving ahead with the build and just hoping that they would loosen up over time. I chose to go with the first purple switches to keep the purple theme going. These switches are called WS Palm Plus switches, very insipid. Also, I was sent 3 different foams: regular classic foam, pour-on foam, and cork foam. What the hell? For now, I'm just gonna use the pour-on foam, as I just wanna use it as a good baseline, and then maybe later I'll try out the cork foam to see if there's any differences. Now this keyboard has a few different mounting methods. You got silica gel, top mounting, elastic bar, which is kinda like silicone springy thing, and then O-ring. I'm gonna go with the silica gel because I think it's a good compromise between stiff and bouncy. Now I got 4 different plates to choose from. I'm gonna go with the aluminum. Aluminum plates have sort of a bright, clacky sound, and that's what I'm shooting for right now. Unlike the original Zoom75, this board has a quick release mechanism. And after getting the switches on, I tried to snap the case back together and was super confused why it wasn't going back on. I was pressing so hard on the case, trying to get it back together. And then I realized I put switches where the LED screen goes, which is funny because like 20 minutes ago, I was reading about this exact thing on my brief. Such a moron.
I'm so stupid.
Fix that. But additionally, you also need to line up these little pogo pins with these plates, which are hanging off the PCB. It's not hard. I just thought it was really interesting because I think it's a great solution instead of having to like clip in little ribbon cables every single time. And then the top part sort of magnetizes on, which is pretty neat and intrinsic. After snapping the case together, I threw on the first purple keycap set, and here we go, our first build. It looks amazing. It smells amazing. It sounds Dude, I love the bright sound of this board. It's very different from the original Zoom75. I definitely use this board just how it is, but for the sake of science, we're gonna test out some of the other things that were included in the box. The first thing I wanna test out were the purple-orange switches I was sent. I love these switches. In fact, I think I like them more than the original purple switches I popped on earlier. These orange ones, which are actually just called WS Aronas, I think it is. They feel more light and bouncy, which I fancy. I'd also say they sound a little bit more bright too, if that makes any sense. Maybe clacky, if that's the better word for that. Science test number 2, purple keycap. These keycaps are fun. They have a much deeper sound and they're clear, which is cool. Next, I tried out the badge option, which replaces the LED screen. I love how clean it makes your board look. I could definitely see myself using it if I didn't often switch between Mac and Windows and using multiple Bluetooth devices. And the LED screen, shows the modes you're connected to and if you're on Mac or Windows mode. And I think that's really helpful. But if I wasn't, then I would definitely use the badge. Science test number 3. These were the different mounting methods. Let's see how this feels. I mean, it looks pretty good. Honestly, it's not as bouncy as I was thinking it would be. Silica gel, let's see. Pretty dang stiff, but that's kind of just how silica gel is. It's almost gasket mounted, but I mean, it's aluminum plate, so it's gonna be pretty stiff. Almost feels like it's top mounted pretty much. This is the elastic bar mount. Let's see, okay. So far, I mean, it feels pretty similar to O-ring, but maybe a little bit more even. Maybe even a little bit more bouncy in a way. I like that. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one right there. Dang. Science test number 4. I'm gonna try out the palm play. It's much more flexible as usual. It sounds great, and it's a little bit more deep sounding too. But I'm gonna stick with the aluminum plate for now. Science test number 5 is the difference between no foam, pour on foam, and the new cork foam. Now, cork foam, from what I've heard, is supposed to be a lot more neutral sounding compared to pour on foam, which has more of a poppy, marbly sound. It's easier to tell the difference in person, but the cork definitely has a little bit more of a clean sound, whereas the pour on and classic have just a tad bit more of a marbly tone. Additionally, no foam also sounded amazing. It wasn't as hollow and muddy as I was thinking. Overall, I'm trying to say this board sounds really good. Now, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna daily this board for a while, and the build that I've settled on is an aluminum plate, cork foam, no case foam, the orange WS switches, the first purple keycaps, and the elastic bar mount. Overall, this board is incredible. Amazing improvements over the original Zoom75 and a very welcome new design. It's really hard to go wrong with this board. The group buy is going to be going from November 4th until November 18th. See ya.